Bienvenidos Broncos fanáticos, los saluda con muchísimo gusto Rebeca Landa y les doy la bienvenida a Ensillado, donde nos sentamos en entrevista exclusiva con sus Broncos favoritos. El día de hoy, por supuesto, no estoy sola, me acompaña Carlos Valdés y Víctor Ayala. Carlos, te saludo con muchísimo gusto. Platícanos un poquito de a quién tenemos hoy en Ensillado.
Esperemos que se sienta usted confortable con esta compañía. Muchas gracias, mi querida Rebeca Landa. También saludo con mucho gusto y abrazo a la distancia a mi querido Víctor Ayala. Bueno, el día de hoy, como bien mencionas, tenemos un invitado enorme. Para empezar, es un gran corazón bronco. Y bueno, nos maravillamos siempre por las cosas que hace en el terreno de juego. Ha demostrado que a pesar de no tener una extracción totalmente bronco, ha sabido entregarse y ya es uno de los consentidos de la afición. Y creo que toda la gente va a quedar maravillada por la enorme calidad humana que tiene este jugador, que en el emparrillado luce temible, mas sin embargo es una gran persona.
Víctor, te saludo también con mucho gusto y ayúdanos también a introducir a nuestro invitado, pero ahora en inglés, para que se incluya a Ensillado.
¿Qué tal? Muy buenas tardes, compañeros Rebeca, Carlitos. Un abrazo de lejos, de social distancing, sin mascarilla, pero muy contento de estar ahí con ustedes. Y bueno, our special guest today, Broncos fanáticos in Broncos country, started his career here on a good note with a blocked field goal. He also had a game-sealing interception, and he leads the league with 19 career passes defended. He wears number 96 for the Denver Broncos, Mr. Shelby Harris.
Welcome, Shelby.
Thank you, Shelby.
We're so happy to have you here. We know you're at home. We want you to let you know that we miss you on the field, but we hope to see you this weekend. Hopefully, do you have an insight for us? Are we going to be able to see you?
Well, hopefully, if everything goes well, I should be back out there, fighting for our Broncos and trying to go get a W.
Awesome. So, Shelby, you started your career arguably with one of our biggest historical rivals, right? With the Oakland Raiders. What is the biggest difference playing for Oakland that is now Las Vegas Raiders? But what's the difference playing for Raiders in comparison to the Denver Broncos?
I think the biggest difference is, well, for me, when I was at Oakland, I was a young player. I was in my first 2 years in the league. And so when I went to Denver, I've been here for my 4th through 7th year in the league. So I think the biggest difference is more just my involvement with the team. I think now with the Broncos, I'm more of a leader in the team. I'm more of you're going to hear my voice when you're in the facility. You know what I mean? So I think I feel so much more comfortable with the Broncos, and I just think it's I just definitely think it's a place for me. It's definitely, Oakland was cool. It was a nice place to start, but Denver is definitely the place for me.
That's awesome. You started your career in Denver on a good note. You blocked the game-winning field goal against the Chargers for that home opener on a Monday night. Then you picked off Big Ben a couple of years ago for a game-stealing interception in the end zone. And then you continue to bat balls down at the line of scrimmage and dominate. You actually lead the league in batted balls. What's the formula for success here?
Honestly, I really think it goes back to my basketball days. I'm my high school's all-time leader in block shots. And so, it's just, I think it goes with hand-eye coordination and just kind of putting it on the field with the anticipation of when the ball is going to get thrown. We work it a lot in practice. Our coach, Bill Kolar, is real big on if you can't get a sack, knock the ball down. It's the next best thing. And so we work it a lot. And so it's good to see the work practice translate to the game.
Well, my question, Shelby, rounds around the we always get very satisfied when you bat those balls in the line, But my question, I always broadcast the game, but my question is always, who's watching Shelby? The quarterback, the scheme, the players, or what are you watching at the same moment, or all of these moments? It's like intuitive.
So when it comes to like batting the ball down, you know, what I'm looking at really more is the quarterback's eyes. So if you make eye contact with the quarterback, and then you kind of see his eyes get big, and he's like, it's kind of like he's looking right at you, but he's actually looking behind you. So you can kind of tell if he's looking over you or like kind of like through you. And so you just, you know, right when that arm comes off the ball, right when that hand comes off the ball, that's when your hand just starts to come up, and then it's this timing after that.
It looks like the ball come to your hand. Looks pretty easy from outside, but it's not.
No, it's just my hands are magnets, you know. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
How much does a ball like that hurt? Because it's like pretty fast, right? And it comes with great velocity. And I don't know, does it hurt when you bat it down?
It depends how cold it is. So,
Okay.
so that's the thing. So when it's really cold like that, you know, your hand can go numb. Like, you know, you really easily could break a finger or do something like, you know, depending on how hard you're trying to throw the ball. And so, you know, sometimes it hurts, but then, you know, other times it's okay. The worst ones though are when it hits you like in the middle of the arm, like if it hits you like here. Oh, because those leave a huge bruise, and those are just uncomfortable. So I'd rather definitely hit it with my hand and just take it.
We have seen you improve every season you've been here, Shelby. In your opinion, what has contributed to your continued progress and improvement in every single season?
I would definitely think that it just has to do with a lot more confidence every year, just knowing that I can be one of the best in the league just after every year of what I put on film and what my stats are, and just also just, you know, just confident in the work that we put in during practice. We go out and I think I have one of the best D-line coaches in the league, and Bill Kolar, and the work we put in every day in practice, that's what you see in the game is the result. And so I definitely think it's just you know, the amount of work we put in practice, but then just the confidence level going into games. It's what is attributed to the every year, just the progression.
Victor, do you want to ask something else?
Yeah, no, kind of stole the words from my mouth there. So Shelby, I know I asked you this last time we were live down at Empower Field at Mile High last year, but just walk us through that game-sealing interception against Big Ben in that game, and how was that moment, like the time of the snap, you catch the ball, like what goes through your head, what all like entailed in that moment?
So even deeper into that moment, my daughter was born 2 days before that game. And so I just remember because she was born the day after Thanksgiving. She was born the 23rd. Thanksgiving was the 22nd that year. It was Thursday. She was born the 23rd of Friday. And so then I remember I missed work that Friday. And so then on Sunday for the game, I felt real fresh. I was like, all right, yeah, we're gonna do something special. And so then when that play happened, it just felt like it was supposed to happen. It just felt like it was meant to be. Like it's just that because I remember, okay, I can walk you through the play. I remember the play, the ball snapped, and I'm playing head up on the center, and then I remember I hit the left A gap, and I'm sitting there, and then I watched Ben Roethlisberger kind of fumble the snap, trying to kind of hand it off to James Conner, but then I saw him pull it back, and then once I saw him pull it back, kind of pushed off the center and kind of just started floating back a little bit. And then, you know, and then I swear we made eye contact. He looked right at me, and then he just threw me the ball. It really felt like he just threw it right to me. And so, and like, you know, obviously the rest of the history, but I'm just saying, like, it just felt like he just threw the ball right to me.
So then at that moment, like you hear the crowd erupt, right? Because like you just did this big play. How was that? Like, how does that feel? Like being on the field, being Shelby Harris on the field, and the whole stadium just erupted because you just made the game-sealing play.
No, those type of moments I always say, like, take your breath away. because I just remember getting up trying to catch my breath the whole time. I was dying the whole No, but it was just like, it was just a crazy feeling just because all those emotions just came just because, you know, my daughter was born 2 days earlier. It just felt like everything was meant for her. Like that was her game. You know, everything was for her that game. And so it was just, you know, it was just crazy. All the fans going crazy and everything. But the only thing I could think of is I can't wait to get to the hospital and go see my wife and go see my wife. I mean, because it's just, that was a moment you want to spend like with your family. That's a moment that's something that we'll never forget. That's a story that will always be associated with like my daughter's birth. You know what I mean? So it's just something that you want to definitely spend with your family.
So is that game ball at home with her name on it or dedicated to her?
No, we have it in a case and everything. She has pictures with it and everything. We'll never get rid of that ball. No, never.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
So Shelby, Dale, Carlos, adelante.
Shelby, this is between you and me, buddy. What's the feeling? What's the special feeling being a Broncos player?
Man, you know, I didn't know much about the Broncos growing up. You know, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I grew up a Green Bay Packer fan. You know, so I grew up hating the Broncos because of the Super Bowl where they, you know, the Broncos beat the Packers. But being a Bronco to me is something special. The reason I love the Broncos is because of the way they give back. You know, we're extremely blessed individuals to be able to play a game for a living. And the Broncos do I swear they do everything possible to try to give back to the communities. And not just the Denver community, just like you're saying, the work they do in Mexico, the work they do everywhere. Like the Broncos are a top-notch organization that, you know, we like, especially in the players, we know we're so lucky to be where we are. And so it's about giving back and trying to make a difference and trying to make a change. Because I always say this, if you can change one kid's life, you've done your job. It's worth it. So that's why it's just, you know, that's what I love most about the Broncos is because the Broncos do everything possible to make the community better.
That's awesome. So, hey, you talked about family and spending time with family, Shelby. How have these months been for you? It was known that your family had COVID. How did you manage this situation? What did you guys learn from it? How did you spend time with your family? How is everybody?
So my family tested positive first. I was in a hotel for a week. Because I wasn't testing positive for 5 to 7 days. And I didn't test positive for 6 days until after my family did. And so I was in a hotel first. And so that was tough because you're trying to be in the hotel, keep testing negative so you can keep playing football, but your family's all at home testing positive for COVID. And so it's kind of, you know, at one point it was just like, is it even worth it to be trying to fight for a football game when your family is dealing with the virus? Right. And so, you know, it's tough. And I always kept telling myself if things got bad, I was just going to say, like, screw football. It's all about my family. But luckily, everything stayed good the whole time. But then I tested positive, so then I went home. But I can honestly say this. It's probably the best thing that's ever happened to me. The time I've had with my family is some of the best time I've ever had. Just like watching my kids grow, spending all this time with my wife and my family. It's just it's time I would never have gotten pre-COVID. You know what I mean? Like it's time that I would never have gotten during the season with my family, and then to watch my kids grow up and watch my youngest became a toddler. I watched that happen. You know what I mean? So to watch that happen and truly is a blessing. Underneath. You know what I mean? So it's something special. You know what I mean? So I definitely enjoyed that. That was definitely the highlight. You know, so.
Yeah, some silver lining into.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it definitely.
Right. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing.
Football is family, guys. There you go.
Yeah.
Football's family, exactly. Yeah. So going back to football, and you also kind of mentioned Mexico in there. So I know that you talked to Marisol and you knew that she was taking someone to Mexico and you were like, hey, I want to go to Mexico. So Shelby, what is it about Mexico and Latin America that calls you?
See, my thing is, I don't want to go to like resort Mexico. I want to go to real Mexico. Like I want to.
Right.
I love the culture. I just want to be immersed in the culture. I want to be, you know, just go and just experience it. You know, so, and that's my thing is what's a better way to like go and just get immersed in the culture than this, just like situations like this. And so I just think it'd be a great opportunity for me and my family just to go and really enjoy and just learn so much about just the Mexican culture in general. And I think it'd be a great learning trip, you know, for me and my kids, but then also just like, just a good time.
What I heard Shelby say is that he wants to try street tacos, he wants to try chilindrinas, he wants to try elotes en vaso, he wants to try all the good Mexican food, huh, Shelby?
That's really all I care about is to eat.
Hey, don't forget the mazapanes.
Yes. Yes, Mexican candy is also delicious, Shelby. So I'm pretty sure if you bring your kids down here, they will also love Mexican candy. Shelby, we want to thank you so much for spending time with us. Is there any message that you would want to say to the Latino community that's always supporting the Denver Broncos? Anything you want to say to Broncos fanáticos?
Yeah, I definitely want to say just you're not unnoticed. You know, we definitely see you, and we love the support, and we appreciate you. You know, like you're just as much as a Denver Bronco, like a Denver native fan. You know, like everybody's in this together, and we need all the support we can get. You know, to get through all these seasons and to get back on top.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shelby.
Yeah,
thank you so much, Shelby. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Shelby, for spending some time with us. Gracias a todos ustedes por acompañarnos en una edición más de Ensillado. Carlos, Víctor, muchísimas gracias por esta entrevista.
Gracias.
Shelby, thank you once again. Y gracias por acompañarnos. Nos vemos hasta la próxima.